We studied about the fiscal and monetary policy of the Pakistan, about the high inflation rate and the low saving, and that the monetary policy is not the independent and different problem of inflation, unemployment, debt servicing, balance of payment deficit, current account deficit. It is also called current account deficit, budget deficit, and these both are called collectively twin deficits and other economic problems of Pakistan. And after studying about those problems, today we are going to start what is structural adjustment program, its composition and effect. All of us have heard about the IMF and the World Bank, and many times we heard in the news that IMF has asked Pakistan to do this and to do that, and we have to restructure our loan and we have to repay our loan, or on the debt we have to pay interest, and the Pakistan debt burden is increasing, and the IMF has imposed some more restrictions on the Pakistan or some other conditions to reschedule the loan. So we will study or see that what is the IMF and the World Bank, to international institutions, and what are their structural adjustment program, which are also called SAPs, and their composition and the effect. It is an introductory chapter. In the second chapter, which is 17th chapter, we will see about the structural adjustment program for the Pakistan over time. In this chapter, we will see that what is SAP, or what is the IMF and World Bank, and how these institutions work. There is a general belief among the many students in the developing countries that monetary fund, or the IMF and the World Bank, dominate the economic policy across the world, especially in the developing countries, and they influence it to suit their own interest. In developing countries, it is believed of the many segments of the society that our own governments have lost their autonomy and now merely follow the dictation from the IMF and the World Bank. And many believe, in fact, that their own Ministry of Finance are now quite redundant and have been replaced by the International Monetary Fund. ये कॉमन बिलीव है, अगर हम इकोनॉमिक्स के स्टूडेंट ना भी हो तो हम ये सुनते रहते हैं कि गवर्नमेंट जो सी है वो IMF या वर्ल्ड बैंक से डिक्टेशन लेके वही पॉलिसीज जो सी है वो अप्लाई करती है, इनकी अपनी इंडिपेंडेंट पॉलिसीज नहीं होती। लेकिन जो एक एक्सटर्नल इन्फ्लुएंस है अंडर डेवलप कंट्रीज के लिए वो नया नहीं है, शुरू से ही पहले कॉलोनियलिज्म था, लेकिन विजिबल हो या इनविजिबल हो, डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज पे एक इन्फ्लुएंस होता है डेवलप कंट्रीज का, या एक्सटर्नल इन्फ्लुएंस के आपने किस तरह से अपनी पॉलिटिकल एंड इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसी जो सी हैं उनको चलाना है, या आपके नेक्स्ट डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम जो सी हैं वो क्या होंगे। The global dominance of the IMF was at its peak in 1980 and 1990, perhaps even early into the 21st century, but there are the signs that this dominance may have waned a little in recent years. However, in the countries such as the Pakistan, they have played a fundamental role in the restructuring of the economy since the 1980s and continue to have a major influence even today. Pakistan seems to be one of those few countries which continue to go back to the IMF after every few years. As here it is given the example of 2013, and we know that our current government also has contacted the IMF and have taken their structural adjustment program. From where this all started is that in 1950 and 60, the model that was suggested and developed by the academics and the government officials in USA focused almost entirely on the growth. पाकिस्तान का भी मॉडल वही था, और बहुत से डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज ने इसी मॉडल को लिया कि आपका फोकस जो है वो जस्ट इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ पे होगा, आप इनकम इनइक्वालिटी और डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन को ना देखें। अगर आपकी ग्रोथ जो सी है उसका रेट अच्छा है तो आफ्टर सम टाइम जो बेनिफिशियरी इफेक्ट है वो ट्रिकल डाउन होकर सारी पॉपुलेशन तक पहुंच जाएंगे। दिस model where the general aim was to increase the growth in the economies of the relatively advanced underdeveloped countries, Latin America for example, and some Asian countries, rested on the premises that increase the growth should be the fundamental focus of all policies. And so eventually the fruit of the growth would trickle down to the population at the large. So इसमें फंक्शनल इनइक्वालिटी जो सी है इसको प्रमोट किया गया कि कुछ ना कुछ इनइक्वालिटी सोसाइटी में बेटर है इफ and after when the country will become developed, all segments of the society will gain from this development. So industrialization was the mechanism for this enhanced growth, and underdeveloped countries began to produce goods, particularly consumer and intermediate goods, and which they have imported earlier. This was the import substitution industrialization, and during this time period, agriculture sector was neglected, as we have studied in the previous chapters, and the internal terms of the trade were highly biased, and they were against the agriculture sector. But when it was recognized that keeping the agriculture sector so snubbed, it is not possible to grow, Pakistan experienced, as shown in the chapter 6 and 8, मतलब इस टाइम पीरियड में अर्बनाइजेशन भी हुई, मॉडर्नाइजेशन भी हुई, इंडस्ट्री ने भी ग्रो किया, लेकिन दो एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर चूंकि उसे स्नब किया गया, फिर जब ये देखा गया कि एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर को स्नब करके आप ग्रो नहीं कर सकते, soon after this some other policies were introduced which were resulted in the green revolution, and agriculture sector also developed along with the industry sectors. But at the end of the 1960s, when these policies were reevaluated, it come to know that जितना इन policies ने grow किया है या उससे growth हुई है, उसके साथ साथ इन policies ने उतने ही problem भी create किए हैं कि आपने सिर्फ growth पे focus किया, जिस दौरान आपने ये बिल्कुल नहीं देखा कि income inequality कितनी बढ़ रही है, क्या poverty कम हुई है या नहीं हुई, या आपके जो दूसरे human indicators हैं वो क्या कह रहे हैं. So with the passage of time, when these results of these policies were analyzed, it was found that these countries were performing poor on the human indicator. This gave rise to other World Bank packages such as the मतलब फिर न्यू पैकेज इंट्रोड्यूस करवाया गया, उनमें क्या था कि बेसिक नीड अप्रोच एंड रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन विद ग्रोथ, एंड still growth was still important, but countries were advised to look after their poor and provide basic facilities for them as well. The 1970 also saw huge amounts of the dollar being loaned to mostly Latin American countries, which were intended to supplement their own efforts. इस time period में different countries को World Bank और IMF की तरफ से बहुत से loan भी दिए गए, उनके बहुत से restructuring program, जिनमें structural adjustment program भी शामिल थे, वो introduce करवाए गए, और policy makers ने फिर इस चीज़ को follow किया जो program IMF और World Bank की तरफ से दिए गए थे, क्योंकि जो policy 1960s में थी उसमें growth हुई लेकिन development ना हुई, तो अब growth और development को साथ साथ लेके चलने के लिए 1980s में फिर ये प्रोग्राम 1970s और 80s में इंट्रोड्यूस करवाए गए, जिसमें ये था कि आप डेवलपमेंट को भी साथ लेके चलें. बट एट द एंड ऑफ 1980s, when there was the 1990s, it was seemed that 1960s की पॉलिसीज डिफरेंट थी, 1980s की डिफरेंट थी, लेकिन एट द एंड रिजल्ट फिर यही था कि देयर वर नॉट ग्रोथ एज इट वाज एक्सपेक्टेड, कि ना ही तो उसमें पॉवर्टी इन कंट्रीज में उस तरह से कम हुई, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इशू भी एज इट इज मौजूद रहा, हालांकि इस दौरान जो पॉलिसीज थी या प्रोग्राम थे वो डिफरेंट थे. सो the incomplete success of the 1960s led to the basic need approach in 1970s and 80s, while in the 1990s, following the structural adjustment programs of the 1980s, concepts like social action program, sustainable development program were introduced, or development with the human face were, and sustainable poverty reduction were introduced to address the incomplete success of adjustment program of the 1980s. So इन दोनों सिचुएशन में एंड पे फिर वही बात थी कि IMF और वर्ल्ड बैंक ने नए प्रोग्राम इंट्रोड्यूस करवाए, क्योंकि उन पॉलिसीज के भी आउटकम्स वो नहीं थे जो कि एक्सपेक्टेड थे. और इस सारे टाइम पीरियड में जब नए प्रोग्राम इंट्रोड्यूस करवाए गए और फिर जब ये स्ट्रक्चर एडजस्टमेंट प्रोग्राम थे प्लस लोन दिए गए स्ट्रक्चरल एडजस्टमेंट प्रोग्राम के लिए, तो इस टाइम पीरियड में जो 1970 से लेके बाद में IMF और वर्ल्ड बैंक के लोन्स थे वो फॉरवर्ड किए गए, और उसमें पेट्रोलियम डॉलर भी थे, जो कि वहाँ से जो कंट्रीज पेट्रोल एक्सपोर्ट्स करते हैं वो जो इन इंटरनेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस में सबमिट करवाते हैं उन्हें पेट्रोलियम डॉलर कहते हैं. तो ये सारे फंड जो से ये डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज को फॉरवर्ड किए गए.